You want it to be boring. You want it to be where if you lose, who cares? I'm still going to do the same model on the next setup based on the logic. If the trade failed here, but the overall conditions of the marketplace are as they should be still, I'm going to take the next setup. There it is. It's done. I already have it in my head. That's what I'm going to do. Unless I'm proven incorrect. And therefore, I either need to move to the sidelines and wait for new information or reverse. But that's not always a reverse. In the beginning, that motivation, hey, I'm going to get in this trade, and you do it wrong. Or if you get squeezed out of the trade because you don't have a stop loss, because you chased price, that pressure that you're feeling is going to make you think you got it wrong. And you'll abandon your model. And then what do? Become impulsive again and say, oh, I got it wrong. Not realizing that you just didn't do what you were supposed to do and wait for the setup. You'll reverse in the natural progression of the retracement that your original trade idea should have been waited for. So you did it wrong, chasing it. Then you're scared because it's retracing on you, and you reverse. And then the trade goes where you want it to go. But then here's where you lie to yourself. I knew this was going to happen, and the broker, they slipped me, and I had to do. You're lying. You fucking chased the price. You did it incorrectly. And then you changed your mind because you couldn't handle the pressure of the retracement because you were misplaced. You weren't offside. You had a poor entry, poor execution. You did it poorly. You should have closed the trade, sat and waited for the setup. Not make one decision incorrectly and then impulsively fix a mistake doing the opposite, where the analysis didn't say anything about that trade reversing and going lower. You succumb to your own emotions and poor psychology that's now being stirred up because you're in the market, you chased price, and you didn't do anything, and you completely lost the plot. Uncomfortable, isn't it? It just happened to you this week, didn't it? Market went where you thought it was going to go, but you lost on your trades. I just pegged you. How do I know it? Because I did that when I was 20. I did it. Multiple accounts. Some of it resulted in losing trade accounts entirely. Do you need to lose your trades in stunning fashion or blow your accounts to learn that lesson from me? I would have loved to have someone explain it to me like this. I would have never looked at them and said, wow, dude, you're talking about all this terrible stuff. Like, motivate me, man. I would have never done that. I would have been like, you know what? This is exactly what I need to hear. You're not fluffing me up with some bullshit. You're not here promising me that I'm going to get rich overnight. You're giving me the things I have to concern myself with, that I'm going to have to wrestle with. These are the real things. These are the brass tacks of trading. And when you hear it, it feels like I'm talking down to you, or someone new to come here. Oh, I don't want to listen to this guy. He's talking down to his students. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm talking to you eye to eye. I'm coming to where you are because I've been there. I'm not talking down to you. I'm taking myself right back to the location where you're at right now and telling you, the guy that you look highly up, and have high regard for now, I didn't get this insight, by having fucking candy bars shoved up my ass, okay? It hasn't been easy. It's literally a war. You have to go through a lot of stuff. And books just don't make it plain enough for you. Like, you have to go through it. And it's not easy. There is no shortcuts to it. It's all normal, though. And the way you get through it is to get through it. And how do you do it successfully? By not having a whole lot of result-oriented, progress in terms of a monetary sense. So remove that. Because if you can do one thing, that's your cookie cutter approach, that little thing that you do over and over and over again that repeats. What does that mean? Well, husbands and boyfriends, or those in the culinary arts, you go down to your kitchen, pull open the drawer that has all your cookie cutters in it. Just reach in there, grab one randomly. Doesn't matter which one it is. Okay. And you grab that cookie cutter in your hand, close your eyes, and then hold it in your hand and feel it. You know the shape. It's the star, or it's the snowman cookie cutter for Christmas. It might be the pumpkin, cookout, cookie cutter for a cutout for and Halloween's coming up and Thanksgiving. All those bends and contortions in the shape of that cookie cutter. You don't need to lay eyes on that. You just know it. You know it intimately because you can feel it. You've seen it before. Why? Why are you comfortable if I was to ask you what you're holding? What cookie cutter is it? Because you've seen it before. You don't need to lay your eyes on it. You know, if you open your eyes up, it's going to be the very thing you just said. Why? Experience. But you didn't look at it. The same thing is what you're conditioning yourself to do with this price action. You know that this fair value gap is going to form. It's going to fucking form every single day between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock without fail. It will always be there. 100% it's going to be there. You need not worry about it. It's going to fucking be there. I don't care if they're blowing shit up around the fucking world. I don't care if the fucking president gets fucking COVID-26, it doesn't fucking matter. This stuff is going to keep working. It's going to keep working every fucking week, every fucking day, and it won't fucking stop. But you're not limiting yourself to doing just these things to prove it to yourself. I have literally taken you down to 60 minutes and said, see if what I'm saying is bullshit or not. And guess what? It's there every fucking day. Every day. Every day. London, pre-New York session, New York session, afternoon session, last hour trading. Come on. Listen, you don't have any excuse why you shouldn't wait for your setup to form. If you miss it, if you get a stop out, or if it doesn't work for that one setup, you did it wrong. You did it wrong. Guess what that means? You have an opportunity, maybe in the same day, to correct it or study it and build your confidence back up. But you're taking motivation and turning it into mania. I want to rush through this, learn how to do it, because I'm going to go and try to do 5 or 6 maximum funded account. And I'm going to do this and do that with the trading. And I'm going to be an overnight success. No one's going to be able to do it faster than me. I'm going to be the fastest meteoric rise in funded account trading. You're making it harder than it needs to be. You really are. And you might get a little bit of success here and there, but you're going to go out there and flaunt it like it was the easiest thing since, riding your bike now, which you've probably been doing your whole life. It's easy. It's like riding a bike now. And you're going to lie to yourself. You're going to lie to anybody else that's listening. Like you're providing all of the outside noise and justification that's not helping you. You're willing to go through all those things. You're willing to enter the trade when there is no setup. It hasn't formed yet. The framework is likely to be there. The draw on liquidity, where it's going to go ultimately. You're in the session, it's probably going to go up there, but right now it's running in the direction of the trade profit. You don't want to enter like that. You wait for it to draw down into a PD array or up into a PD array if you're bearish. And then by doing that, you know that there's a range in which it's permissible. It can color outside that fair value gap just a little bit. But see, when you impulsively enter, what you're really doing, and this is the truth, folks, you're afraid that this thing that you're trying to do as a model is going to fail in your own hands. And you know that if it does, and you do everything that you think is correct, you're not going to stick with it. And you're going to start all over again chasing something else. And folks, I just nailed down 90% of you motherfuckers. You don't want to listen because you're afraid you're going to do it wrong. And then you're going to fault the model. You're going to fault the approach. And then you, because you're impulsive, you're going to go out there and chase Elliott waves. You're going to chase harmonic patterns. You're going to chase some other bullshit. Crazy, ain't it? How could I know this? Because I did the same stupid shit. I've done the same stuff, folks. You have to change your perspective. You have to be accountable to yourself. And you also have to give yourself the opportunity to do it right and have the fruits of it. Just like when you win and you have a series of good winning trades and it's still Tuesday. That's not an invitation because you have Wednesday and Thursday and Friday still to trade. Well, I got to push my edge into a dull, blunt fucking edge. So many times I've seen students, and I've done this before, you go in there, you get a windfall victory in the beginning of the week, much larger than you normally would. You're like, man, I'm really good at this shit. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to impress my wife. She's finally going to realize this ain't a video game. Watch, I'm going to tell her what I'm going to do over here, and boom, boom, boom. And then there it is. You get back half of it, or a third of it, or worse, all of it and more. Then you go into the weekend with a loss. That is demoralizing. That sucks. That really sucks. Especially if you showed everybody online in the beginning of the week, here's what I made. And then they're like, progress report, where you at? MIA, baby, I ain't coming on. I got things to do. Radio silence. You're making it harder on yourself by doing that. So you have to weigh all these things out and also provide no opportunity for them to be in the trading. So it becomes less of an impact adversely, because it's real easy to talk yourself out of this because it's hard. It's really, really hard. And what makes it hard is that you are equating success and failure on a personal level. Think about it. As a business, okay, think about it like this. You have a business and you do some kind of customer service for the for the community at large. Okay, say you run a landscaping business, okay? And I'm thinking of that now because it's raining, and usually the landscaping company would be here today, but it's raining, so they're not able to make their money today, so I'll probably see them tomorrow. So they perform a function or a service for the community. If I say to this business owner or the employees of it and say, hey, listen, your weed eater is tearing up the pillar on my pool house. I'm not making this up. This is something I'm going to be bitching about. But if I say that to this person, if I say it just to the employee, he'll just nod his head and then say, okay, sorry, I'll tell so-and-so. And that's it. Nothing's going to happen. And unless he's the person that's using the weed eater each time, nothing's going to change. But if I call the company and I speak to the owner and say, hey, listen, this is what's going on, and I just want to bring it to your attention. Can you make sure that this doesn't continue? Oh, absolutely, sir. I apologize. We're going to take care of it. Boom, boom, boom. And once he's handled that situation and the conversation's over, he's not worrying about me the rest of the day. He's not worrying about losing his account with me. He's not worrying about, his future business. He's not going to start doing shit differently. He handles that matter right then and there, and it's without emotion. It's just business to him. He understands that not all customers are going to come in with a wonderful review. I could contact him and say, you're done. I'm going to use somebody else because this is what's going on. I just discovered it. But he's not going to stop becoming, or he's not going to stop running his landscaping company because I complained or maybe even dropped them. That's not what he's going to do. Why? Because his fucking business model works. And I'm one transaction. I'm one source of a model. He knows if he comes to this property once a week and does this same thing, I will pay him. That's the result he's going to do. The same thing with your trading. You got to treat it the same way. Not every single trade is going to yield the best review. The outcome is not going to be the favorable one. But does it take you out of reaching for that model or having faith in it being useful in the future? No, because it's just like that cookie cutter. You can't ask the cookie cutter to be a rolling pin. It's not its function. Just like you can't ask the silver bullet to be there, in times where it's not favorable for it, where there's a consolidation and it's going to consolidate in Asia or after 4 o'clock, going into 5 o'clock, afternoon in the session. There's no silver bullet between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. But the market's moving. It's still ticking around, but there is no setup there. I would never look at that and say, this is a silver bullet. This is a fair value gap I would sell short or go long in because of the timing of it. You're asking that model to exist in a time when it's not going to be there. which is the equivalent of taking a cookie cutter and saying, I'm going to use it as a rolling pin. It won't work. It doesn't work. It's not a hammer. It's not a screwdriver, you know? But you know that cookie cutter, if you lay it into dough, okay, you take that dough and you spread it across your counter, and you take that cookie cutter and you press it down into that dough that's rolled out. And you know when you lift that cookie cutter up slowly and you follow all the processes of rolling the dough out, taking the cookie cutter, pressing it down in, maybe slightly twisting it back and forth a little bit, and then slowly raising it up, you're going to have a cutout of that dough in the form of that cookie cutter. That's what your trading model is. That's what I'm teaching you to look at, that 5-point run, that 5-handle run in the S&P. Because if you can do this, if you can stick to the process of handling that cookie cutter, the fair value gap silver bullet that takes 5 points or 5 handles out of the marketplace, and you consistently are able to do that and nothing else, guess what you're doing? You're forging patience. You're forging real experience that no one can take away from you. And you're learning a lot about yourself, what you're going to be feeling. Are you feeling impulsive? Are you feeling impatient? The trade's not panning out fast enough for you? The way you get over that is by being in the marketplace, doing it. You have to engage it. And then you won't feel impulsive, like, I just got in this trade 30 seconds ago. It should have already done 5 handles by now. I know what it feels like. You want it to be painless, and I'm telling you, it's going to be painful. But it's worthwhile. It's worthwhile doing it. It's got an outcome that is worth doing. That is not 100% success. But that less than 100% success rate equates to your success ultimately. But you're trying to avoid any losing. You're trying to avoid any kind of hardships or any kind of embarrassments or discoveries about yourself. And you want to not fail using it because you're weak. You're undisciplined. You have no sense of self-responsibility. And you know yourself well enough that if you fail using the model based on the rules, you're going to associate that one failure with it's ultimately sucks, it's fraud, and I'm never going to be able to do it. And I have to justify things outside myself, hold myself to no accountability, and I'll have to chase something else. And I don't want to do all that again. That's the reality, folks. This is actually going to be a chapter in the book, but I wanted to say it. I wanted to say these things. Because reading it in the words, it's easy to just like, okay, I saw the letters there. I saw the spaces between the words, but I really didn't take anything from that. It's just filler. It's fluff. But this is the real shit, folks. This is what really goes on when you're pressing the button and it matters. This is the stuff that goes on to your thoughts, what you're wrestling with, what you're pretending isn't there. But in reality, this is really what it is. If I would have titled this Twitter space, all the shit that's causing you to lose and how it's going to continue doing it, you probably wouldn't want to watch it. Probably wouldn't want to listen to it, because you need to be around somebody like a Tony Robbins. He wants to tickle your ass with a feather and say, hey, everything's going to be great. You're a success story in the making. Everything's great for you. You're not going to fail. Never accept failure because it's never going to happen for you. Get the fuck out of here. When you're practicing, or when you're reading the tape, or if you're doing your demoing, or if you're going to be taking another trade that would be gainful, if it was to be profitable, whether it be funded account combine, or live account funds, I want you to think about what I said today. I want you to take it to heart, because if you start feeling that and you feel like you just want to get in there, turn the chart off. Walk away. Don't do anything. Come back to it an hour later and see what would have happened. And be honest with yourself. If you would have did the impulsive entry, how much drawdown would you have gone through? Did it run without having the setup form later on and still ultimately go to where your model would have said? It's going to be hard for you to do this, next to impossible. But for the folks that really are here, try to learn. They want to have excellence in their executions. They want to be able to trust themselves as the trader, the operator, using the information, and not be impulsive like a gambler at the casino. This is screw it. I got $100 left, and I'm just tired of this. Let me just lose everything, so that way I can't come back to the table now. I can't come back to this slot machine. I don't know why I can't. For the life of me, I can never remember the name of that thing, but I got it right this time. Slot machine. A gambler, they don't have control of themselves. They lose themselves. And I don't gamble in casinos. I've taken $100 to a casino. It was my first year anniversary. We went to Atlantic City, stayed at the Taj Mahal, not because I like Trump, but because we had a comp there from a friend of the family, and they let us stay in his room, and it was really nice. But I knew enough about myself that I don't want to take money there and gamble. So I said, I'll just put $100 into a slot machine, and whatever happens, I don't care. And it took forever, like 5 fucking hours, for me to lose this $100. Every time I went down, 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 down. I never went higher, thinking like $115 is the highest it went. So my best was $15, but who's going to stop at $15, right? But for hours and hours and hours, it would drop down. I'm down to 30, and all of a sudden it up to 80, $90, $100, maybe 102, something like that, but never went above 115. And it would drop me back down into 20s and 15, got down to like 12 one time. I was like, okay, it won't be long now. It's going to be gone. And then right on back up to the 75 and $80. And I'm like, what the hell? And at this point, I'm like, man, what the shit? There's maximum bets. I want to lose this now because I don't have the discipline to get up and walk away from it. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, I might get lucky. The 3 sevens might come up. I might get whatever the machine total was telling, flashing above it. That's what happens in trading. Every single time I lost my account, it was the same thing. I would make a little bit of money. I'd lose a little bit of money, make a little bit of money, but not go back to the same equity high or the opening balance. And then it would draw back down again. And then I'd get mad because it would just be back and forth, just underwater. And I just wanted to have that one trade to put me back above water. Because in my mind, I was thinking, 20-year-old, even if I have a failure here, I got plenty of time to make more money and refund it. That was my excuse. That was the insurance policy. That's bullshit. That's the wrong mentality. You need to treat it like it's the only account that you're ever going to have. That means it means something to you. It's your child's education fund. When you start thinking about it like that, it ain't your girl money. It ain't I can replace it with something I can do over here or there. It means something to you. When you conduct it with that in mind and you are held accountable, which is real hard in this industry, because how can you be accountable to anyone that doesn't do it too? It's not like you can go to your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, a family member, your co-workers, and say, hey, here's what I'm doing, and I want to show you what I'm doing, and when I'm wrong, I want you to be able to say, are you following the model? They want those opportunities. They want to be able to say, I told you it wasn't going to work. So you're not going to be comfortable and honest. And your spouse isn't going to see it. They're not going to see it. They're not going to believe it. They're not going to be behind you because they've never seen this before. You haven't seen it before. You brought nothing for them to feel confident about what it is they should trust. There's no evidence that what you're doing is a worthwhile investment and you're trying to risk money. It seems like gambling. It seems like nothing more than going to a casino. So they're not going to support you. They're not going to be a means of holding you accountable in a realistic manner without being too judgmental. So you have to do it. You own all this responsibility. You're the CEO. You're the CFO. You're the manager. You're the employee. You're the HR department. You're all of it. And when you fail, you failed. Not the model. Not the broker did it to me. You did. You did. When I lost my accounts, it was every bit of my responsibility. At the time, I was looking for every possible way where I can justify it somebody else's fault. Because I was angry. And I was angry and ignorant at the same time. And that's a terrible combination, especially today where we have access to people's time, their eyes, reading tweets and bullshit that's posted directly to them, because they wouldn't say that shit if it was in front of them. People have bravery today because they're separated by thousands of miles. And they think anonymity protects them. But that same kind of shit wouldn't fly in the streets. Get your fucking card punched real quick. But you invite social media. You invite toxicity. And all of those effects you're inviting at the time of your trade. You don't realize you're doing it, but you are, because you're in a hurry to have something to be able to share and champion online. Because in your mind, before you get these wins, before you get this profit, you're saying to yourself, I want to have this so I can go online and share it with ICT and he'll retweet it. Or I want to be able to share this with the people that I'm in a community with. And they're going to be able to say, that's awesome. I saw so-and-so. He did or she did this today. And you'll be a sense of encouragement to someone else. And that then therefore makes you significant. But you're already significant. You're a work in progress. But you're looking for outward signs of significance versus you having comfort in your own skin, knowing that what you're about to do is what you always will do. You're not reinventing the wheel. You're not trying to do something new. You're not letting the motivation become impulse. You're carrying the motivation to execution. Execution, execution. It's about that. That's the process. That's the model. It's about following the fucking rules. And if you do that, by default, you will get the results you're looking for. But if you don't do those things and you include outward opinions or being led to do things for the purposes of being able to show somebody else that you did something, you want to prove somebody wrong. You want to prove somebody inferior to your ability to trading. You want to prove that your method is better than their method. My method, it's yours, and back and forth bullshit. I went out there this week cautious. Told you, it's in the morning session. One of the days, I can't remember what it was, but there was nothing algorithmic in the morning session. It was all manual intervention. It was back and forth. None of the PD arrays were supporting it. It really wasn't running for liquidity. It was just painting back and forth, up and down, that's seek and destroy. If I trade that, I will have my ass handed to me. So I cut bait. I'm going to wait for something to make sense. I told you I would rather see it do this, reach up to this specific buy side liquidity. And above that, there is a range, these very specific levels. I want to see it go up there, and then I believe they'll drop it lower. Off by one tick. Yesterday, beautiful execution. Beautiful execution. But it's in a week where what I just described and explained to you, this is the number one reason why, okay? This is the absolute number one reason why I don't sit down with you live and go through the motions of doing this, because many of you have confirmation bias. Like, you have to have confirmation that if I say I'm doing something, or if I take a trade and I enter it live, and I'm talking about if I use a limit order where you can see that order's resting before the market gets there, you all could potentially copy that trade, but not all of you will. Some of you are going to be, well, a little skeptical, not in the sense that I might not be able to do it right, but you need, because you're going to be risking your own money. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to be able to copy what I'm doing. And the ones that won't take the actual orders, you're going to wait and see if it starts moving in the direction I think it's going to be. So my order would be filled. I'm already in profit. It's running towards my target. Then you would do what I'm explaining here. The motivation for you to want to take the trade, now you become impulsive and you'll chase it. And what'll happen, this is exactly what the fuck happened on Internet Relay Chat back in 2000 and 2001. Where I was hosting a chat room. I was literally calling the S&P. I was telling everybody what my orders were, where my stop were, where my target was. I was doing that. And I had people saying, I lost fucking money following you today because this, and this. Okay, show me your fills. 6.5, 7 fucking handles past where my order was. That's not following me. That's chasing me when I'm already winning. And in social media, people have a tendency to be able to bitch online about things that are absolutely 100% their fucking fault. And then people that don't know any better just show up like a car driving by a car accident. They're turning their heads, rubbernecking. Oh, wow, what's going on? Oh, this guy said this, and he must not be able to trade because that person followed him and they lost money. When the details are, my trade worked out fucking perfectly and you didn't do anything right and you chased something. And now you're pissed off because you wrecked yourself. You didn't listen. You didn't even use the model. You just chased something. You think, okay, it's finally proven to me that it's going to keep moving. And then you got sucked into the drawdown. That's natural. It didn't reverse. But you can't handle it because you don't know how to trade and you didn't do anything in the model. You're just impulsively chasing price. And because human nature being what it is, you, like anyone else with a weak mind, would say, well, it's not my responsibility. I didn't lose money. You caused me to lose money. Well, I didn't push the fucking button, bitch. You did. You did that. And I have students in my mentorship that in every intake, some of them tried to do that shit. And I said, show me where I told you the entry pattern was. Where was the entry price on it? Where was the stop loss at that you employed? Where did you hear me say that? Didn't happen. But it went to where I said it was going to go.